Okay, one last little screen here. Got about 9 minutes, would be plenty of time. Session control. How long do I want the session, and how often do I want to be, or I should say, how many sessions do I want to be able to run in this folder? So let's start. Our first option, baseline. Do we want a baseline? I like a baseline. I like 30 seconds. Pre and post. Okay? Run length, 120. Remember, we defined that with auto thresholding, we were going to reset that threshold at each run. It's within the session. The session's going to run straight through 20 minutes, but every 2 minutes the computer's going to go, up, let's reset the threshold. Up, let's reset the threshold. Okay? I want that run length to be 120. Then the number of runs is going to then define exactly how long is the session. So when you look at this particular example, I got a 30-second pre and post, I got 120 on the run length, seconds, and I have 10 runs. How long is my total session? 21 minutes, exactly. Okay? Is that clear?
Does the training session stop after each run?
Only if I have pause between runs selected. Right now, I just made a change. How long is the session?
20 minutes.
So 31.
31.
What?
I made a change on my screen.
What's your change? Oh, put 180?
Yeah.
I thought you had 180. I couldn't see it.
Okay. Bless you. How long's the session?
How much you got?
120.
22 minutes.
What is it?
Our session is 20 minutes.
22. Baseline 60 seconds, pre and post. 2 minutes, you gotta pay attention. See that? See that? Okay. All right. Now, so we kind of understand how that, excuse me, how that works. Run length times number of runs plus pre and post baseline equals total length of session. Everybody good with that? Good deal. Now, let's talk about number of sessions and what is this box useful for. Okay, number of sessions is important because there's two different ways you can use this. You could, like you see the 80 maximum, simply put an 80 in here. And you're going to be able to run 80 sessions in here before the folder's pretty much shuts down. Okay? Or you can, the way I like to do it, or I tell people that they should do it, is you can start with a low number, 6 or 5. If you have people working for you that see your clients, let's say you see the client the first day they come in, you prescribe 20 sessions, but you're going to see them every 5th or 6th session to monitor progress. They're going to come in, they're going to work with a tech's going to hook them up, they're going to train for 4 times, then you're going to see them again for the 5th. You want to make sure you start with a low number, and the reason being is it will not let your tech run 10 sessions before you see them again by accident. Maybe all of a sudden you're out of town unexpectedly or whatever. Next thing you come back, they ran 10 sessions. You find out the protocol wasn't really what they were needing. They weren't progressing. You've just wasted 4 sessions because you weren't alerted that it was time to see them again. Okay, some people go, that's ridiculous. I have controls. That's not going to happen. And that's fine. But it's a good thing to keep in mind if you are working with techs and things like that, that if you put that small number in, it's going to run out of sessions, not let it go to the next session without them seeing you for review purposes. And without you setting, then giving them 6 more sessions.
If you set like whatever number of sessions, 10 sessions, and you change some of the criteria, what will that do to your summated data?
It's going to screw it up. Yeah, if I put 80 in here and do 5 sessions of alpha theta and then decide to change the z-scores for 6 sessions and then decide to change back to SMR training and I look at a show all, it's useless. Build separate folders for separate protocols.
But even within the protocol, if you change the inhibits, for example, will that affect the data?
Like, for instance, for the first 3 sessions I was inhibiting theta and high beta, and then, for instance, I decided not to inhibit high beta anymore.
Or you change the level of the inhibit.
What, the thresholds?
Yeah.
No, the thresholds will be monitored the whole time. And it'll tell you session by session what the threshold was for that session. So those kind of changes are fine. Complete protocol direction changes are not recommended because you'll have useless review information.
Even if you move your band.
Yeah, you got to know that. You got to mark.
I just write on there.
Yeah.
Show me, oh, these were done at 4 to 7.
Right.
These were done at 6 to 8.
Right, exactly. Any changes you make, you have to keep documentation so you know you've made those changes through the session, or when you look back a month or two from now, you're not going to remember you made that change, and you're going to wonder, why did this change so much in my review? Yeah, those are notes you're going to have to keep for sure.
Can it show up on your report, your results?
Well, you'll see the amplitude changes and you'll see the threshold changes, but you're not going to see the bandwidth changes.
Can it show the definition of the bandwidth for that session?
Yeah, but it can't show you the changes you've made throughout the session because you might be walking it up and down the whole time. It doesn't know that.
That's what it was set at,
Yeah, it's just what it was originally set at.
But Bill, if we have the same protocol in there, and we have maybe 10 sessions, and then we want to evaluate, then we can increase this number after we do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you evaluate, let's say, at 5 or 6 sessions, then give them the 6 more and make it 12, and then make it 18, and then make it 24. It just keeps a guideline on there so they don't get to the 10th session and you figure out that they're doing the wrong protocol. That's all. It shortens the time frame of errors. Okay. Session type, assessment, no feedback will be given. Even if I accidentally have a go or stop selected, there'll be no feedback. It'll simply be assessing or monitoring. Training, feedback will be given, pretty straightforward. Simulation, pump a random noise signal in there for presentation purposes, things like that. You just wanted to look at what a protocol is going to look like before they start. Is this protocol going to work? You can run a simulation, and it's nobody's data, it's just raw noise. Okay? And you can put on your notch filters and make it look like EEG to behave, but again, it's just noise. Playback means I had save EEG to disk on at one point. I've recorded the session. I just simply want to replay it. I want to play it back. You can also get to the playback from the training screen, so you don't have to come in here to select this. Okay. Any questions? The use session wizard to control session is the same checkbox basically we saw early in the electrode placement window. Not sure why he's got it 2 places, but you see the session wizard again. He just happens to have it 2 places.
Is the recorded EEG get saved to the same folder as the results?
Yes, it's just a different formatted file. It's a different, it's titled differently, and it's a different extension. Okay. Questions? Okay, perfect. We're going to go ahead and end here, which couldn't be any better, right at 12:29. And then we'll have lunch, and then we'll be back here right around 1:30, and then we'll continue.
Is this going to be